Hey, what's up, guys? So what do you do when you get one of those type of questions from a buyer through eBay messaging? All right, so today, while I was working on doing some listings, I got an interesting message. A buyer asked me about a couple of listings that I had of some CDs, 2 lots by the same group. They had different CDs in them and wanted to know if I would combine shipping. Well, I thought, well, sure, everybody combines shipping. In fact, as a buyer, if you buy 2 things from the same person that's selling, you can request that up front, just like through eBay. But, I responded, yes, I'd be glad to, refund however much is not necessary. It's media anyway. Well, they responded back, well, thank you, I appreciate that. Said they were looking at these 2 sets. And so, I waited around a while. They never said anything about buying them. Each set was $30. So I decided, even though I had just listed them, that I would send an offer out. And I don't often do that. So I sent an offer. I sent an offer at $27 for each set. Well, that was essentially giving them $6 off, which should have been enough to cover whatever the shipping cost would have been. Same as free shipping, basically, at that point. And they come back and offered me $20. And so I declined it, because I thought, I just listed these. I've got them priced fairly. And, 20 just seemed like it was a little bit low. And so anyway, they came back with the message then. And they said, so would you be willing to take 24? And I was like, well, man, I really wanted to make the sale, because I have, sales have been slower than I would like. And, at $24, if I sell both of them, that's $48. And I'm not trying to be greedy. I don't have much in these CDs. Remember, these are out of my big lot. So, 10 CDs, I would have like $2.50 to $3 in. So, on that level, it's kind of sounds like I'm just being stingy maybe. But the reality is, you got to sell your stuff for what you know it's worth. And you got to be careful not to, devalue it too much, especially when it's a new listing. Or you'll leave so much money on the table that over time it will really hurt you financially and hurt you in terms of the success of your store. So I messaged back and I said, that I was willing to do 26. I went down $1. And I explained to them that I had just put the listings up. They'd only been there for a couple of days, and that I normally didn't even send offers when they were that new. And that, if they could do 26, then I would still combine shipping, and I would be glad to sell them to them at that price. Well, they messaged back again. And so at this point, I always get nervous when I feel like I'm working a deal through email on eBay. I try to be very careful about how much of that I do negotiating through the messaging on there. But they said, well, see, they told me then, they said, this is my problem. Okay. I kind of stumbled on that, but this is my problem. They said, well, the issue is I've already got several of these. And there was a couple they didn't want. So they said out of the 10 total CDs, there were 5 that they needed for their collection of the birds. These were like CD productions of some of their original albums, a majority of them. And a couple of them were compilations. And so they asked me if I would be willing to split them up and to sell them the 5 they wanted. Now, I've heard other resellers talk about this, and ordinarily I am really, really apprehensive about this. So I messaged them back pretty quickly and I said, it all depends. I told them that I tried to group them strategically so that I wouldn't have repeated tracks. And I knew there were a couple of like greatest hits / compilation CDs that if I lotted those together, it would probably detract from people being interested in making that purchase, because, they don't want 2 or 3 copies of the same songs. And they messaged back and said they understood, and that, to let them know of what I decided. So naturally, I went and pulled the 2 sets of CDs. The other thing I wanted to check was to make sure on how my value was spaced between each individual CD, because I priced them each individually, in order to arrive at what kind of lot pricing I'm going to use. And so I went back through them, which was, extra time spent, even though the listings were made. And I decided, because I also had, the Birds had some other singers that went on to do solo work that I had 2 or 3 CDs of. So I decided that I could still put together a couple of lots of 4 maybe a piece that has a mixture of the Birds and then some of their front men that have been with them that also made solo albums. So I can still get a couple of sets made out of what's left. I think there's going to be 8 CDs, so 2 sets of 4. I'll do 2 lots. And at the same time, I decided, well, you know, I'll go ahead and group them. So I went ahead, did the sell similar on the one that had 3 of the same albums, just did a real quick listing for it, and then I ended the other 2 listings. And I ended them because I said they were no longer available, which was true because I was about to make a sale to this other person. So I sent them a message back and I said, the listing just went live. I decided to do the deal for you. And they said, and this was one of the good parts, they said, you know, since I was doing that for them, that they would be glad to pay the full asking price that I originally had a set of 5 listed for. So because I went ahead and went through some inconvenience on my end, I was able to sell this lot of 5 for the original listing price of $30, $29.99. So I got $30 plus shipping for these instead of $26. So for me, that was a better deal. Now, in the long run, am I going to benefit? I think so, because I think I can create the 2 listings using those other 3 CDs. They have pretty similar values to the ones that I pulled out. And I think I can get 2 listings that are around $20 to $25, which, you know, if I'm able to sell those at roughly full price, say if I can get full price for them, even if I get 20 a piece, you know, at the end of the day, that would be like $70 total sales for, 13 CDs. So, I mean, that's not too bad. So I'm okay with that. Ordinarily, I don't know if I'd want to do this type of thing every day. Tell me what you think in the comments. You know, when I think about this, I think, you know, it was a lot of extra time invested, and every extra minute that we put into reshaping listings, taking them down, putting them back up. See, I still got to create 2 new listings to get those other CDs back up, and those were taken care of already. So I know my time invested is probably more than it should be, but I was able to get a sale today, and you know, more than one, but I was able to get this extra sale today. And so I think it was worth it for that, for me at least right now, because I'm not uber busy. Now, if I was knocking sales down like crazy and super busy right now, like I would like to be, then I might have passed on the extra work. But, you know, doing a little bit of extra, and I'd say this, sometimes I feel like other resellers, when they do videos on this topic, they really are apprehensive to work with buyers. But at the end of the day, I work for myself, but I represent eBay, and the better customer service that I can provide, the more I can do. I was very quick with my responses. The more I can do to make a happy customer, I think the better I'm doing my job. And so, you know, I think customer service is really important. That doesn't mean that I have to give in to every request or every demand that's made, but I do need to make an effort, at least to be cordial and to be considerate of the questions that are asked. And sometimes, absolutely, some of the questions we get, you know, one of those questions, sometimes it's just not worth giving any attention to. It's just not worth it. And there's been times that I just passed. You know, I'll give a polite answer and I move on. I just don't even consider what's being asked. But tell me what you think. Do you have any issues like that come up, and how do you handle it? Tell me about it in the comments if you've had anything like that recently. And guys, real quick reminder, I'm Josh, by the way. This is Bama Jaybird Resell. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, I would love for you to join the Bama Jaybird Resell family. So jump on there, hit that subscribe button. Go ahead and smash that thumbs up while you're at it. That helps our channel grow and get out to a bigger audience. And like I said, drop a comment. Let me know what you think about this topic. That being said, we're going to transition to a few what solds. You'll see this pop back up again in a minute, and hopefully you'll see something in the what solds that you didn't know to look for, and maybe not. I don't know, but we will see, right? I learned so much myself from watching other resellers, and especially when they go through their what solds. It helps me to target new items, you know, when I'm out there picking. So guys, let's go ahead and jump over there to what sold. Hey, what's going on, guys? Back with the what sold portion of the video, and today I have 11 items going out the door for like $325.99. So not a huge total, but I'm good with it. Sales have been a little slow for me. I don't know about you. It kind of goes up and down. I've been trying to do what I can on my end to make that better. I know that the more I list, the more I will sell. I know that I can run sales, I can do promotions. There's a lot of things that are within my control that I can use to counteract all the things that are outside of my control. And hopefully you can do the same thing. So let's get started. My first sale today is from my CD buy. This is the Ultimate Count 5 Psychotic Revelation. This again is a CD that I got for like 25 to 30 cents, and I sold this for $7 plus shipping. All right, the next item I have going out is a made in USA, crafted with pride, woodland camo single stitch t-shirt. This is likely an army issue, and I sold this on an offer for $8. I think I was like $2 into it, so 2 into 8. All right, next I have a second CD going out. This is actually a 2-disc set called Retrospective by Bread, and this is really awesome collection. There's like 50 songs here. This sold for $9.56 on an offer. And so again, these first sales, nothing too impressive, but it takes all of it, man. I could just only film on days that, you know, and I don't get to film every single time I do what's sold, but I can only film the days when I'm killing it, or I can film even the days when it's just like an average day. And I want you to see all sides of reselling. Now, reselling is a great thing to be in. I mean, I love it. I think there's a lot of potential to continue to grow for me, to grow in income, to grow in sales. And, I see that, but at the same time, I want to be realistic with you and let you know that every day is not equal. We're riding a wave, if you will, and sometimes it's up and sometimes it's down. And a lot of it does depend on how well we source, how consistent we list, how well we manage our store. And I mean, that's on us. But there's things that are out of our hands, and we just have to do the best that we can. So one thing like that I do, and this is a good example, this is an item that had been in my store a long time. This is a set of 3 dinosaurs. These are vintage Safari Limited. This is, again, a lot of 3. I've got the names, but I'm not going to try to call them out. These are from the 90s, and I've had these for a while. I got these when I bought several bags of vintage dinosaurs from America's Thrift Store, and I gave like, $3 to $4 a bag. This is some of the leftovers. I sold several pretty quickly. I wasn't getting any interest in these. And so when I finally had a watcher on these, I sent out a really aggressive offer. I think I had like maybe 20 bucks or a little over 20 bucks on these. And I sent an offer for $10 and they accepted. So I sold them for $10 plus shipping. And I'll take that. I'm already in the profit on those. I just needed to see them go. And an extra 10 bucks in my pocket at this point, that's a good thing. Next up, I have a set of CDs by Bob Dylan. This again is from my buyout. So this is a 5-album set, but this is actually only about, a quarter to 30 cents into this particular item because it's like a little box set. Now I like this, and even though it's a paper slip cover, I thought this was cool. I'm going to show this to you. Inside of it, the discs are in small paper sleeves that are like the original album. So this is like 5 original albums. You see these, really awesome. And I got a decent value for these. So again, about 25 or 30 cents, and I sold this for $17.87 plus shipping. $17.87 plus shipping. So that's a decent start. Next item up is a Ted Baker Endurance button-down shirt. This is purple floral. It's a size 17. Sleeve length, it's long sleeve, 34, 35. Really cool pattern on this shirt. It's not really my cup of tea, but I definitely can see someone really enjoying that. People that like to kind of be a little more colorful. This sold for, again, $15 plus shipping, and I think I had like, oh man, I'm trying to remember where I got that at. I've had that a while. I probably gave no more than $5 for it, I would assume. I probably didn't make as huge a profit on that one. But again, that's something that's been around a while. I sent a really aggressive offer out when I had a watcher and just tried to get rid of it. So, sometimes it's better to recoup the capital that you have sitting around in items that aren't selling. I've been talking about this with the stale inventory thing. So whenever I do have a chance to move something that has sat too long, I try to be aggressive with my offers and get it out the door and just try to find something better to replace it with the money that I get back. Now, I'm not trying to lose money. I'm not trying to send out an offer where I don't make anything or where I go in the negative, but I try to keep my buying costs low enough so that, push comes to shove. When it's time for it to go, I can drop that price enough to break even / make a couple of dollars and just be able to move on from it. And sometimes that's okay. It's okay to move on from things. And it's okay to do it in a way, if you'll source well, where you don't lose money. And now next up, I have a Kuhl. That's K-U-H-L. I'm still not sure if I say that right, Kuhl or Kuhl. But either way, it's a really strong brand in a lot of ways. Maybe not as strong as it was, you know, a year or two ago. I think it's a little more available. It kind of depends on the exact styles, but this is a skirt, a women's skirt, and it does not sell as good as some of the pants do. But this still sold for $16.89 plus shipping. It's a nice olive green color, and this was a size 12. And I think I gave $4 for that at my local thrift store here in town, little mom and pop shop. So 4 into $16.89. That's not a bad return on investment. Next up, I have a pair of Merrell sandals. They're kind of like a mustard yellow color, I guess you could say. Maybe you can kind of see them there. They're a really neat design. I've had these for a while. I think I gave $5 for these. I can't remember for sure now. I've had these a long time. They didn't sell last summer, so that gives you an idea. I've had these for, I got them before last summer, so I guess over a year at least. And they just been sitting in the tub, man, hanging out, waiting for the right buyer to come along. And they did, and I got $20 for these. So 5 into 20. Merrell is a good brand. It's not always a strong brand for resale on eBay. It depends on the item. Some of their hiking boots and things like that, outdoor model shoes, do really well. I mean, you find some things, you know, every brand has certain niches within the brand that perform better than the others. So you got to really know your brands well, whether it be clothing or anything else, in order to pick out, you know, just like you got to know your category well. You know, VHS may not be the hottest category, you know, to make big money on every VHS tape you find. But if you know which ones to look for, there are some that always sell for good money. So you got to keep your eyes peeled, and you got to increase that knowledge, guys. So again, $4 or $4.99, let's say 5, because I think they were $4.99, 5 into 20. Next up, I have a big lot of CDs. It's been a while since I've sold any of these. I still have a few lots left from my first CD purchase when I bought the 2 tubs of CDs at the yard sale where the lady cleans out storage lockers. And by the way, I guess she quit doing that. I've been watching every time I drive by her place. She used to be set up every Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And here lately, I mean, this year she hasn't been set up at all. So I guess they either stopped buying storage lockers or something's going on. I don't know. But I hate that because that was a really, really good sourcing opportunity for me. But anyway, 15 CDs. And so this is groups like Pearl Jam, Fishbone, Fuel, Tonic, The Bloodhound Gang, Urban Dance Squad, Collective Soul, Hole, Temple of the Dog, Audioslave, Faith No More, Mad Season, and Fish. And there's a couple others I wasn't sure about. So anyway, 15 CDs. Same thing here. I've had these around now for a while, and I've more than made my money back and made a lot of profit. So I had these, I think, marked up at something like $39.99 or maybe a little more. And I sent out an offer of $25 on these to try to move them. They took the offer. So $25 for 15 CDs. That's less than $2 a CD, guys. That's really a good deal. Even if you add in the shipping, it should still come out for them to be no more than about $2 a CD. And, you know, I'm able to make a little more money. You know, that's just more profit coming out of that purchase that I only gave $30 for to start with. I gave $30 for all of it. These sold for $25, and I have sold a ton of music out of that first purchase. So I'm good with that. Next up, I've got a set of CDs by the Birds. This is the one that I told you about earlier, okay? And this includes Farther Along, Untitled, Unissued, Dr. Birds and Mr. High, Sweetheart of the Rodeo, and Bird Maniacs. So that's the titles. Did I put them upside down? No, I didn't. There they are. The titles, if you can see them. And I got $29.99 plus shipping for these. And again, this is my latest CD buy, that big one that I made. So 5 of these, let's say, you know, anywhere from $1.50 to $1.25 to $1. What is that? Is that right? 5 of them times a quarter would be $1.25, and if they were 30 cents, yeah, $1.25 to $1.50. Ooh, into $30, guys. I mean, the profit margin on this stuff is just, it's crazy. It's just plumb silly, and I just keep pulling sales like this out. And there's $100 sales and sales over $100, but so many sales of $15, $20, $30, $40. And even those first couple, you know, where you got $7 or $6 and then the $17, man, I mean, it just all adds up so fast, so fast. Next up, and this is our last item. This is also my best sale so far for today. This is a Thor Phase Aqua White Brown riding pants. I'm sorry, I'm not looking at the camera. I'm having to read this one. But it's the jersey and it is the pants. And this is, I think, women's. But this, you can't tell much about it. I have to put a thumbnail up. But this is like a motocross type riding outfit. Really nice. I've had this for a while. I think I got a good price on it when I bought it, but I don't remember what that was. I think it was like $15 for the set. The lady had bought it, used it a couple of times. Never wore the pants. I think they still had the tag. And then the shirt she had wore like once or twice. And so I got $69 for this, or $70. No, $69. So again, about 15 into 69, that's a good flip. So I'll take that all day long. So hope y'all enjoyed it, guys. As always, don't forget, I really appreciate you. I love you. God loves you. And whatever you do, guys, don't you ever give up. I'll see you on the next one.